300 bid, 350 bid, 450, 450 a bid, 450, 480, 480, 500, 500 bid, 500 bid, 500, 500, 500, we're here.
Hello, welcome to On Farm. This is Monty, and this programme is a partnership with auctioneering firm Harrison and Hetherington.
1,000 again, 500, 400, 300 away.
What you're hearing just now is a flavour of our episode recorded this time last year at Kelso Tup Sales.
5, 50, 550, 600.
Producer Dave and I had a great but very busy day, rushing around all the pens trying to chat to as many people as possible and soak up the atmosphere of the sale.
Great, tight there to breathe. Look at the length of this.
I might just get in a bit nearer in case I need to put in a bid here. This is getting nearer the sort of trade he wanted, 900.
Halfway, 900 a bit, 950.
It's fancier out of the bidding, I expect.
1,000, 1,000 a bit, 1,000.
1,000?
Yeah, 1,000.
1,000, 1,000, 1,000 a bit, 1,000. You decided, 1,000 a bit, 1,000. He goes at 1,000.
Yeah, hammer down at 1,000 for that one. So
Now, nearly a year on, we're looking at a different side of things. The sale itself is high energy and super frenetic, but the days and weeks leading up to Kelso are so important for the auctioneers selling on the day. They need to do their best to persuade farmers to sell in their rings. It's a process called canvassing.
yes, really, you have to go around a few farms, and shake a few hands. We've also got to get them to build a bit of confidence in themselves to sell them with myself rather than another auction company.
If you heard that episode a year ago, you might remember this chat. We caught up with a keen young auctioneer getting his first chance in the big leagues.
So I would love to get to ring 19 because there's a young lad, Andrew Hutcheson. This is a massive day for him because he's been given the chance to sell at Kelso for the first time. Ring 19, he's going to be in here very shortly. This is a big day for the auctioneers, same as for the sellers and the buyers. It's a real honour to be able to show off his skills, I would imagine. We'll hear from him, but I would imagine that.
There he is, he's got his gavel in his back pocket.
Yeah. So here's Andrew just obviously getting ready to go in. Let's try and see if he's got time for a word to see how he's feeling. When are you in, Andrew? 12:15 I'll be all right. How are you feeling? Aye, nervous very nervous. But there's nothing else I can do now, so. Oh, you'll be fine, won't you? Oh, I'd like to think so. If I have a bad trade, it's not through lack of trying the day, I've tried my hardest, so. Yeah. No, it should be alright, so we'll soon see. Good. I look forward to being in a beer tent later more than anything, So,
You'll be fine. We'll be here. We'll get a bit of recording of you in the box.
If you buy a top, I'll be over the moon,
If I buy a top, we'll see how we go.
That's the top each mind,
Yeah.
That was auctioneer Andrew Hutcheson, or Hutch as he prefers to be called, talking to us at On Farm a year ago. And I'm pleased to say that Hutch is with me again now, here in my truck. With the 2022 Kelso Tup Sale later this week, we thought it was a good time for a catch-up on events this time last year.
I was nervous to say the least. Truth be known, it just shows I care a little bit,
Yeah.
100 in the 400 bid, 400 in the 400 bid, 20, 420 bid, 450, 480, 480 bid, 480 bid, 480 bid, 480 bid.
But you went well.
It went well. It went well last year. Truth be known, it was a good year to start. In fairness, Tups were a good trade throughout the day. Regardless which ring you were in, So hopefully have a good year again this year, and just much the same trade again would just be fantastic.
And what have you got? You're H&H, Harrison and Hetherington, and you've got ring.
Personally, I'm in ring 19. H&H is the company. We're spread across a few different rings throughout the day, ranging from one, which has all a menagerie of breeds in it.
Menagerie, you're not allowed to say that. They're doing the best tups in Scotland, the UK. They're not a menagerie, are they?
A mix of all breeds in that ring.
Right.
A mix of all breeds in that ring. You've got your blue Texels and your border Leicesters, and then as you work your way through up the numbers, so 14, ring 14's just Suffolk's.
Yeah.
A fantastic show of Suffolk's in that ring, and then right the way up to ring 19, which is myself, and we've got a tremendous show of Texels forward this year, so if anyone's looking for a Texel top, they'll be more than welcome to come along, and we'll look forward to seeing them.
I knew you would want to give a wee plug, to be fair.
400 in the 50, 450 bid, 550, 80, 586, 600 bid, 20, 620 bid. Don't be so shy, you're doing a great job. 620 bid, once more. 620 bid in the 50, 650, 80, 680 bid, 700 bid, 700 bid. Now, you know here as well.
Ring 19 is actually quite interesting. The tups that you're going to be selling, I always think it's a ring that I would go to because
the sellers there tend to be commercial farmers themselves, and their tups are the sort that are used to produce prime lambs. It's not the kind of pedigree ring, is it? It's quite a good, but they're really good honest tups.
It's a tremendous show of commercial tups.
That's what
Don't get me wrong, there will be one or two will go for the stock job itself, But as a whole, very, very good ring of tups, like for producing the fat lamb.
Yep.
All the names in the ring between, a lot of them are from the Bosrels or Woolwich catchments, and all of them on a weekly basis top the markets in both.
That's kind of what I would look for personally buying a tup. If I go to the market on a Monday, which I do with these lambs, well, we're just going to have a look at these lambs, but when I go to the market on a Monday, and I get a tremendous price, as you always tell me I get a tremendous price, but you know what I mean? What I look at is, what's the key to the success of those that are getting a better price than me? And you look at those and you think, right, they've got really good lambs. Why have they got good lambs? Because they've got good stock. Right, I want a bit of that. So you go to like Ring 19 and you buy tups from these families, these farms, and that's maybe a key to some success, isn't it?
I know, definitely.
580 bid, 580 bid, 580 bid, 580 bid, 580 bid. The hammer is up. 580 bid. The last call, hammer's up. 580. Gentlemen, guests, I should know your name, sir. Young lad over here.
You've got to be confident when you stand in that box, in where you start a lot away at in terms of value. That obviously comes with experience and what have you, because if you start something at 100 quid and the seller's looking for 500 quid for it or whatever, you're never going to, you're not going to keep anyone happy, are you?
No, that's right. Like, that's one side of the job that's a struggle at times, trying to keep everyone happy, of course. Without being cheeky, like some of the farmers is easier to deal with than others, Certainly when you have a bad trade, it can be a hard job at times.
I bet that. The thing is, there's all sorts of reasons for a hard trade, I'm sure, and unfortunately, you'll be the first person that often gets lashed out at.
No, exactly.
I can imagine that.
Exactly that,
These guys, there's a lot of pressure on their shoulders. There's pressure from the vendor, because, if your sheep don't make a good trade, you might blame someone else, not yourself. Human nature being what it is. First person to shout at might be the auctioneer. If you miss the buyers, if your eyes are not round about you and you miss the buyers, well, some buyer might not be very chuffed.
87, 700 bid, 20, 720 bid, 50, 750, 750. You're trying here.
Because you've actually picked it up quite well. The patter,
the gift of the gab,
the sing-song when you're selling. You can reel it off.
It's a good party trick for a night out, I tell you.
I bet. These guys, they actually want to be entertainers. They want to be, they want to be up there. It's almost like I guess it's like a musician on a big stage. It's like a big gig, He's certainly doing well. He's singing out.
Come on, say you like it. 550 to win the 550 bid. 550 to win the 550 bid. 550 to win the 550 bid. 80, he's back. 580. Don't give up, Duncan. 580 win the 580 bid. 580 to win the 580 bid. 580 to win the 580 bid. 580 to win the 580 bid. Now the hammer's up at 580. 600 bid. 600 bid. 600 bid.
There are like rappers and hip hop artists who'd love to have that control over the way they speak.
600.
There's the other key there, is he's going to know his buyers and he's going to know his sellers as well, and he's going to know, it helps an awful lot.
Who you can wind up.
It helps an awful lot who you can wind up. It helps an awful lot if you build a rapport with the buyer. I heard him say Duncan there. I don't know who Duncan is, but he's trying to say, come on, Duncan, come on. It's, and keep him going. If that gets an extra 50 quid out of Duncan, well, fair play to him. Everyone's happy.
I would say he's playing a blinder, isn't he?
Yeah, I would say he's playing a blinder. Say he's doing well. See, this is important information to give as well. You'll see the lambs every Monday at Bosrels. Well, he knows that because that's his market, and he knows the fact that these guys have got a name for selling a good lamb in Bosrels market on a Monday morning. To my mind, if you want to sell a good fat lamb, prime lamb, through the market, or direct or whatever, then you start off by buying a tup from someone who's already doing that as well.
Your neighbour there, across the river there, Ewan Runciman, for example.
Yep.
He'll be there or thereabouts at the top of the market at Bosrels every week,
Yep.
And his stock's all homebred. And his tups, for example, in Ring 19, if you purchase off himself, you like to think your lambs will head the same direction,
That's what I mean. It's part of the, it's like the Monday fat stock prime stock, we should say, sale is almost a shop window for the tups at Kelso.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely is, like, definitely is.
Do you want to see my shop window? Do you
I
want to see
know,
some of
we
these
might as
lambs?
well. Let's go
Right,
and have a
we'll have a
look.
quick scoot round the field.
That'll do grand.
Grand, right. Belt up. But yeah, there's some. Hopefully, you'll be quite happy with some of these lambs when they come your way.
No, certainly a bit of shape and style about them, like, you know.
See that one there, look. See, just walking up the hill there. Well, that'll be going through your ring as a Beltex.
We'll sell it.
You'll sell it as a Beltex.
We'll sell it as a Beltex.
It's a blue Texel.
Well, it is like.
But they're all. I mean, they're all the same. Then you know, they're all the same sheep. Then, but they're just shapy.
No.
I found them to be usually a bit later than everything else. You know, but they've actually come. They've come earlier.
No, they're looking very, very smart. Like, in your Suffolks, for example, have a fair bit of strength about them, like, don't they?
Yeah.
You know?
Last couple of years, last year in particular, everything was off grass, and that was actually the key with these blue Texels. They came later. They were beautiful lambs. You know, you were putting them through, and they were £10. I remember last November, December selling Texels and Suffolks, and the blues were always £10 more ahead. Yeah, just they're so shapy.
No.
Yeah.
As long as they've got flesh on their backs, like, that's the main priority at the minute, like.
Yeah.
But certainly this season weight's paying.
And why is weight paying? Because this is where we really need to understand where you guys are getting your sort of chat with the buyers and what have you. But why is weight paying? Because we've often been told in the last few years, you know, that you're really looking for that sort of smaller carcass and smaller lamb to give you the smaller carcass and what have you. Whereas all this year, if I'm wanting to get a decent trade from you on a Monday, they've got to be 44, 45 kilos.
No, definitely.
But that seems to be a bit of a swing from previous years, is it not?
It's all supply and demand. In previous years, there's been large numbers of heavy lambs coming forward, just the way the season went.
Ah, right.
So scarcity of lighter lambs coming forward, you see.
Okay.
This year, for example, there's plenty of lambs coming forward that maybe aren't reaching the heavyweights. Right. Just lack of grass, folk are pushing them way early, like, you know.
Yeah. So therefore the ones the heavy ones are more in demand because there's less of them.
Supply and demand at the end of the day, like.
Yeah. So actually, the overall supply and demand hasn't changed. There's still, but because the buyers that would, in a wet year with plenty of grass, there's a whole pile of lambs at 44 kilos. There's less at the smaller weights, so therefore the buyers are paying a bit more of a premium for the smaller weights. I get you. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it like that, Hutch.
No.
But you're obviously, you've got an eye for stock and what have you as well, Hutch. I mean, you need that in your job. But I can't remember. How old are you?
23 now.
See, you're only 23. Why are you in this? You know, what's brought you into auctioneering, and why a career in agriculture? As
truth be known, grew up, I was a farmer's son down at Kelso there, and I've always just enjoyed talking to folk, enjoy being around livestock, and when the opportunity arose, it's a bit of a no-brainer, like, you know. I've always enjoyed the day at the market. Sounds daft, like, I enjoy getting my breakfast, having a bit crack with the farmers, and it's a very, very good job to be in, like, you know. I'm very, very lucky.
Do you think it's your contemporaries at Kelso High School, would any of them even have understood what a livestock auctioneer is? Or
maybe the ones that would be from farms themselves would know, but certainly the ones out of the towns, for example, won't have a clue. I wouldn't have thought. You know.
But it's, you know, your daily basis and your weekly basis. It's very business orientated.
It is like it is like, and it's very varied as well. Like, you know, from your sale days, for example, on the Monday at Boswell's or Wooler on a Wednesday, like, to days like this on a Tuesday, or non-sale days as a whole, like, you know, out in farms and going around folks' stock and seeing what we can do for folk, like
canvassing. Is that
canvassing?
Yep.
Looking to market folks' stock to the best of our abilities. Yep. And help them where possible as well.
And you like all of that? So
I do. I fair enjoy the crack myself.
Yeah. What's the better days, the sale days or the days canvassing, or a balance?
It's a hard one, like, because you get an adrenaline rush on the sale days, like, it's good crack, you constantly kept busy, like. Truth be known, I probably prefer days out canvassing.
But you're looking forward to Kelso?
I'm looking forward to Kelso, don't get me wrong, I'm very nervous as I always am, like. But no, looking forward to it. We've got a lot more tups forward this year. Last year we had 121 in the ring. This year we're up about 50%.
Oh, are you?
We've got 193 this year. Like.
Right.
So we had a good year last year, and Touchwood folk seem to follow us. So
And is that...
it's good.
Yeah, that's partly based on a good year, but is that also partly on hard work put in on the canvassing? Knocking doors?
Aye, I would
Yeah.
say so. Like,
Yeah.
aye, you get a bit thrill of the job. Like when you go canvassing, you get a new
And you get some
customer
stock. Yeah.
on board. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
My thing at the moment is, you talk about helping to get the best for your customers and helping to get the best out of the stock and what have you. My issue at the moment is, if we don't get rain, well, this field here is the best grass I've got just now for these lambs. But how long is it going to last me? So the dilemma at the moment is there's 100 and what is there now? There's 170 in here. Do I keep running them on as I normally would? The last few years everything's gone fat. Do I keep running them on and hope that we get more grass and I can almost keep them on till Christmas time? Or do we say, right, we'll draw more for Monday for prime and maybe give you some stores for another... I don't know, when are your store sales?
Well, certainly we'll have a store sales fortnightly on a Thursday at St. Borgel's there, like,
Aye. So they are every fortnight at the moment.
Every fortnight at St. Borgel's, like, and we're having some good numbers coming forward, like,
What would be because I never really, usually in the past if I've sold stores, it's been the lambs that are just probably never going to do, or it's the end of the season and it's the ones that I need to clear out. The winter comes in sort of November, December, and you think, right, they're gone. They're better gone anyway. But if I was to sell stores at this time of the year and they were sitting around about that sort of almost 40 kilo mark and what have you, there'll be a trade for that.
There will be. No, there certainly is. Like, and unlike ourselves through the east here, like, there's no grass through here, but certainly through west, there's grazing about, like,
Yeah.
Another way they look upon it, like, you get dairy farmers, for example, they use it as part of their rotation, having sheep come on, like, so they can justify paying a bit extra for them for that reason, like, So no, it's...
But they'll buy the sort of 40 kilo job in the hope of running them for a month, 6 weeks, taking them 45 kilos type thing.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, like,
Yeah. What would that get me, about £80 or 85, 86?
You're in the 80s anyways, I know, certainly.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because that's the balance, isn't it? It's do you keep running them in the hope of 100 and odd on a Monday, prime, or do you say, right, okay, some of them will have to go store to make sure I've got enough grass to keep the other ones ticking over or whatever, I don't know.
The real priority really should be trying to get grazing for the ewes to flush on.
You're absolutely 100% right.
And if you sell the lambs now, you're looking after your ewes for next year.
Yep.
And your crop of lambs next season.
You're 100% right. That is actually, to be honest, my biggest dilemma. This particular field, I wasn't thinking of 4 ewes in the original plan, and I'm still not thinking of 4 ewes. It was always just to do these lambs. But the way it's going, every blade of grass could be a prisoner in October.
The ground is very, very barren of water and moisture.
Yeah.
But no, certainly, it's the way certainly other folk are looking at the job they now like.
Yeah.
And if they can look after the grazing or what they have left of grazing to flush the ewes on, hopefully they could get good crop of lambs next year, and that'll hopefully keep the job right.
Because to be fair, not going to be too doom and gloom, but it's almost the case that, if you've not got grass in, say, October, you struggle for grass in Lauderdale here anyway. You struggle for grass in the springtime as well, and that impacts on your lambs for next year.
No, exactly.
Kind of like the wrong decision made with this at the moment could be impacting on what I've got to sell you next year.
No, exactly that. Like,
Yeah. Back to you and your kind of career choice and what have you. What was your route? Because we're putting this episode out in September. There's a lot of school leavers and students and what have you wondering what their choices are. What was your path into this, Andrew?
So after, grew up as a farmer's son, like I say. I went to college for a year, agricultural college, and you see folk from other walks of life, No, it is. It's a good old job, like,
But you say see folks from other walks of life. Would you say an 18-year-old listening and thinking, I would like a career in agriculture or the agricultural side of it, or even someone that's not even thought of agriculture but wants to be, in a career dealing with people, meeting folk outside and what have you, would you recommend?
I know, definitely. It's very, very hard work, but also very rewarding at the same time, like, you know, and the lifestyle that goes with it. It's more a lifestyle than it is a job, like, you know.
I think just at the moment, I wouldn't like to be young and sort of looking for a job, and there's a lot of folk unhappy in their work and what have you. I mean, like you say this is a great job for getting out and meeting people and just, you know, you seem happy in the job. Yeah.
Aye, just socialising.
Yeah.
Out seeing folk, like, you know. It's certainly something folk are pushing forward more and more these days to get out and speak to folk.
Yeah,
like, you know.
yeah. There, look at that. There's the phone. You're forever in demand for chatting to people.
It's unreal, like, it's unreal.
But what about the route in? What did you do? What happened? What was the...
So, there was a job advertised in the Scottish Farmer. Applied for it, had an interview, and I was the unfortunate soul that got the job in the end. Like, no.
Because that was at Boswell's
at
as
St.
a
Boswell's,
trainee,
like,
basically.
trainee at St. Boswell's auction market, like, you know.
Yeah.
So, no, and well, that's me. 5 years come October, I've been there now, like.
Is that right?
Aye, it's been good.
So,
there's plenty of opportunities in the job, like.
In terms of that and opportunities and what have you, are you? I mean, I've dealt with you now for probably the whole 5 years, maybe. I'm not still dealing with a trainee. Well, I've never thought you as a trainee. I've always thought you were great, but are you fully fledged now? Is that how it works? Or?
It's a funny old job, like. So I've never been to Harper. You eventually get sent to Harper Adams to do a course in auctioneering and appraisals.
Okay.
Like, it's basically, the idea of that is basically gives you the right to do independent valuations for insurance jobs and so on, for legal reasons. You've got to have qualification and letters behind your name, like, you know. However, to be an auctioneer yourself, like, it's more just speaking to folk, like, is the main part of the job, like, you know. And as long as you're happy and confident to speak to folk, you'll go far, like, you know.
Well, on that note, let's hope that Kelso rolls well for you.
Hopefully so, like, hopefully so. So, no, it'll soon be done and dusted, like, you know, but like I say, we've got a build up to do before it, like, and try and get as much canvassing done for it, like, see if we can get as many buyers as possible forward.
Well, that's the plan, isn't it? That's what you want to do. Get as many buyers there for a start, but as many potentially around your ring.
No, exactly that.
Just tell me again, ring 19.
Ring 19, there's a whole array of rings under the bracket of H&H, like I say. You've got ring 1, which has the whole mix of breeds in it, like your Border Leicesters and Blue Texels, for example. We've got the Bell Texas in another ring there. You've got Suffolks, and I think it's, I can't mind just the top of my head, I think it's ring 8 and ring 14. I should really know them rings a lot better than I do, but
How many taps are forward for that?
193 for ring 19, like.
Be really good to see them. I look forward to seeing them. Aye, look forward to that on Friday. Right, thank you very much, Hutch.
Not a bother at all, Monty. We'll see you later on.
Yeah, good man. Cheers. Great to spend a bit of time with Hutch, and I hope he has another good day in the ring at Kelso this coming Friday. And I hope you have a good day if you're going, and I hope the trade does well if you're selling, and that you get the right tups if you're buying. The episode we recorded at Tup Sales last year was good fun and really captures the spirit of the day. So do go back and find it in the On Farm podcast feed if you haven't already listened.
The hammers up, we'll go once more on the ring. The hammers up at 50, 100. Jump to the ring.
He's come out of the box. You feel like giving him a round of applause. Hey, well done.
Thank you very much.
Are you pleased?
I think so, anyways, aye.
You did brilliantly.
It's gone better than expected, like.
Oh, jeez, you did brilliantly. Especially at the end there, you had the meeting at your hands.
I know, it's good fun, like, at the end, like.
You must have pulled most of them out over £1,000, and you had some of those buyers, you had them working, so that was really well done.
Go in the end, like, I had a good go, like, at the end. So, no, things worked well.
Have a good pint.
No, thank you very much, and we'll hopefully see you back again.
Good man.
You did great, Andrew. Well done.
Thank you very much. Take care of yourselves. Thank you.
Big thanks to Harrison and Hetherington for coming on board as sponsors for this episode. And your usual reminder, On Farm is made by our team at Scene&HerdPR and Marketing. That's it from me, and bye for now.